Great job in zone coverage, playing with vision to Jordan Love, gets an interception. 3 turnovers, B-Mac and Moose, in the first half. When you're outgunned and you're outmanned, you cannot have 3 turnovers in the first half if you're the Green Bay Packers and expect to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. The defense showed up in the biggest way when they needed to, and you talked about it. Saquon at spurts in this game had his way with this defense.
Yeah, it was going to have to be a clean football game if you wanted to take a win off of these Eagles. As we take a look at some Jordan Love numbers, I know it was 3 turnovers in the first half, 2 of those belonging to Jordan Love. Love finishes the game with 3 interceptions, becomes the first player in Packers franchise history to have no touchdowns and 3 interceptions in a playoff game. We don't have to go too big picture here, but these are the games by which history measures you. What are you going to be once it is the finite reality of playoff football? What did you take away from Love's performance in this game, Matt?
He wasn't good. He wasn't good. But to your point, he finished the season not playing really, really good football. And one would say, if you look at what he did a year ago, the second half of the season is where he played his best, and then he came into the playoffs, got a playoff win, and played fairly well. But when you look at the entire body of work for Jordan Love this season, also, too, knowing that he received a handsome ransom in terms of his contract, getting $50 million per year, I don't believe he lived up to the billing, especially in today's matchup when his defense played outstanding as well. Because if you look at how bad they played in the half of play, this game was still competitive because the Green Bay Packers defense did what they were supposed to do. So for Jordan Love, it's safe to say he needs to get back to the basics because the expectations are high for Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Because he has shown flashes of high-level play, big-time throws. But if you look at how he finished this season, and then, of course, the playoff matchup today, he did not reach the level of expectations.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, this game, listen, this is the way how the game was lost. It's very simple. It's very simple and very obvious. This is not a hot take. Opening kick, fumble. Then easy touchdown. Blink of an eye, you're down 7. Then, next kickoff, 10-yard penalty. Move him back. Then 3 and out, then interception on a deep shot, then missed field goal, then interception. I mean, boom. That's it right there. Boom. I mean, you're not, even Tom Brady said, you're not going to be able to overcome 3 turnovers in a playoff game on the road against a team like the Philadelphia Eagles. And this is what I said going into this game. I said the Packers need to play great football, perfect football. The Eagles, on the other hand, can play ugly ball and not play their best football and still win. And that's what ended up happening. And so it's frustrating. I mean, you had penalties, really, really awful penalties, even when they're still in the game. Like the penalty on Saquon Barkley, the game is still within reach. It still is. We've seen crazy stuff happen in the NFL all the time. And then just to get that, which is then pretty much all right, that pretty much is the game. It's just you can't have it. The Green Bay Packers did not feel like they were ready for this moment. They just did not feel ready. And obviously then the injuries started piling up. And then it's what do you want to do at that point? But you can't let the injuries be an excuse because this game was already getting out of control. They were clearly not showing up regardless of the injuries. Of course, if you're fully healthy, you're going to be a significantly better team. And I think if they were fully healthy going into this game and weren't missing, players on both offense and defense, this game changes. But I also think then the game plan for the Philadelphia Eagles changes as well. Because the Philadelphia Eagles knew what they wanted to do. They just wanted to run the ball, play hard defense, and take care of the ball in very smart, conservative passing game. They didn't need to be aggressive because they understood what was at play here. They understood what the Packers were going to be able to do offensively. But this offense continues to be boom or bust or run the ball. And Jacobs balled out. I mean, he showed up for sure. But it's just every play was just going to be hey, Jordan Love, just push the ball down the field. Again, that's why that interception is just on that deep shot, it's you don't need that in this moment. So I don't even really necessarily like the play call, honestly. So it's again, Jordan Love definitely deserves some blame, without a shadow of a doubt. And I absolutely positively love Matt LaFleur. I really, really do. But I'm just not so sure. For the Philadelphia Eagles, the game plan was very clear to me. Very clear to me. For the, oh my gosh, can't think of the name. Baltimore Ravens, the game plan was very clear to me. The game plan for the Packers was not clear to me. It was not clear to me. I mean, it was still just a kind of a mess. And then you're just kind of hoping for the best, honestly. You're hoping to try to just win on grit and big plays. That's not going to work. That can work in a regular season game in week 7 against some random team. but it's not going to work in playoffs on the road against the Philadelphia Eagles. It's just not. So when you have, penalties, turnovers, and injuries, boom or bust offense, like, where do you go from here? And the defense did play great. They held the Eagles to 2 for 11 on third down, or 2 for 13, or 2 for 11, 2 for 11 on third down, and 1 for 4 in the red zone. Like, the defense showed up. The defense absolutely showed up. But all the turnovers, and then on the Packers side, they were 1 for 3 in the red zone. And you just can't have it. You just can't have it. It just piles on. And then, and it got to have it fourth down, get out of bounds. Like, it was just sloppy, not high level football. And that's what the Packers had been doing for the last, however many weeks. They were not playing high level football. And there was a chance for them to maybe like turn it up in the second half, and they just couldn't do it. They couldn't take advantage of any of the opportunities that they did have. And when it was time for the Philadelphia Eagles to kind of play bully ball, they did. Goddard just kind of forcing his way for a touchdown. Saquon Barkley able to muscle up. And then even when Saquon Barkley gets taken out for a couple plays, Gainwell is able to, their next running back was able to kind of continue to move the chains. And when the Eagles kind of hurt themselves and had their own penalties holding and pushed them back, and now they had third and long, second and long, the Packers were just never able quite to just take advantage of it. They weren't able to force a turnover, force a fumble, force a sack, get a big sack that now gives them good field position. Like, it just didn't work. As great as the defense was, it just wasn't that next level that the offense for the Packers honestly needed. And so, yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating to see they're getting mad on the sideline, because at this point the game is still within reach. But now you have Packers on the sideline getting mad at each other, frustrated, slamming helmets, and it's like the game is still within reach. The game is still within reach, like actually very much so, very much so. And I just think, yeah, man, it was just a combination of a lot of things. And yeah, again, we can say Jordan Love needs to be better, but if Jordan Love played better, I'm not so sure that he then magically wins that game. I'm just not so sure. And yeah, the box score is ugly at this point. 20 for 33, 212 yards, 6 yards per attempt, 0 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. The last interception was just like, I got to sling it. So it was really 2 interceptions. I think it was just the one throw was just a bad throw, bad read, however you want to define it. And then the first interception that, Slay was able to catch on that deep ball was just kind of like, again, that was like, hey, we're just going to sling it and hope for the best. And again, that's either Matt LaFleur or Jordan Love. And I actually put more of the blame on Matt LaFleur in that moment. Honestly. And I don't understand it. I don't understand the game plan. And again, look what the Eagles did. So think about this. Eagles played great defense, and so did the Packers. And the Eagles had a great run game, so did the Packers. What was the difference? It was the turnovers. It was the turnovers, and the Packers trying to take deep shots. The Eagles never did. The Eagles took one real shot, and it was on their fake tush push. So the Packers literally could have done the same game plan as the Eagles, which clearly showed to work. Just don't turn the ball over. Have a more conservative passing game, and you can win the game. You can literally win the game. But you don't. You turn the ball over. You have bad special teams. You force the ball in these big plays, and you lose 22-10. It's actually kind of perfect that the Packers played the Eagles, because you saw what the Eagles did. You saw how they were able to win without this big box office passing game. And they won the playoff game. They're on to the next round. They're hosting the next one. That's how they won. That's how they got in this position in the first place. The Eagles are pretty much showing you what's possible. And they don't do it. And it's frustrating. It's definitely frustrating. And I'm just not entirely sure why. I'm really not, but I because again, it's a combination of things. It's the game plan. The players weren't ready. They're not ready for the moment. They didn't feel connected. This team very much felt like not a family. Last season, it very much felt like this was a family. This was a unit. This year, it felt like it was very disconnected. It felt like they were a family feuding, where they're like, I don't want to get together for Thanksgiving, man. Well, I'm skipping that. I'm not going. That's what it felt like. And it's a bummer. It's a bummer. But hopefully they can kind of diagnose and audit where things went right, where things went wrong. and kind of move forward with that. But, you know, all in all, obviously a tough loss for the Green Bay Packers. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Packers' loss to the Philadelphia Eagles? Who do you think's to blame? What do you think about the game overall? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.